Hi, friends. This is for my friends that I emailed today on November 16th. And in place of a telephone call with each of you, because there are 6 or 7 of you, I thought that I'd just briefly explain the idea. And basically, the goal of my flyer is to connect the millions of disaffected voters from the United States and also disaffected people in Canada who are wondering how we're going to solve climate change without federal leadership at the in the United States and lacking leadership in Canada. How do we connect those millions of people to the actual activities that need to change in order to solve climate change? So there's a lot of things that we need to do to solve climate change. We know what it is. We have to reduce population growth. We need to invest in alternative energies. We need to get around in our bicycles. We need to buy less manufactured junk from China. We need to recycle steel. We need, we know what needs to get done. So I am not going to be using my time to educate climate deniers. I'm not going to use my time to come up with big airy-fairy ideas of what should happen. What I think we need to do is actually work to address those human activities. So we're starting with the activities. What are the activities that we need to see change? And then trace it back to what power do we have to influence those activities. We don't have the power to get every person to suddenly adopt a new lifestyle where they're living in trees. We don't have that power. No one's going to do it. But everyone's probably willing to do something. Maybe it's vegetarianism. Maybe someone says, well, I can't do anything for climate change, but I've decided to eat less meat. And that's my part. And that's great. Anyone who wants to do anything should do it. But now you need to take these large groups of people, this collective, and to link them up with like-minded individuals in an effective vehicle. Now, what makes 10 charities that I'm trying to identify effective and other charities ineffective? So like the Suzuki Foundation, one of my favorite charities, love it. Global warming is about 60% of its activities. Unfortunately, it's not effective. We cannot tell everyone donate to the Suzuki Foundation. They're not going to work. NRA is effective, and Amnesty International is effective, and organizations like David Suzuki Foundation isn't effective in the same way. They are effective at some of what they do, but in terms of changing human activities, they're not effective. So I sent you a link as to what makes the NRA effective and why I think the NRA effective. And the main ingredient is a narrow mandate. And I read a paper about this years ago. I don't remember. Basically, if you are a charity that tries to do just one narrow thing, or an organization that just wants to do one little thing, and you're really focused on that goal, and you have a broad base of support, people from across political spectrums focused on your narrow issue, then you have a chance at actually making a difference on the ground. So we've got bicycling. Bicycling is different than David Suzuki Foundation. A pro-bicycling advocacy group is going to be effective in a way that David Suzuki cannot be effective. And I don't mean him personally. And what it is you can get millions of people across the United States and Canada to jump on the pro-bicycle cause behind some organization that follows an NRA-style form of lobbying. And if we can just get them to give them a little bit of money, it doesn't take millions and millions of people behind this. It only takes hundreds of thousands of people to get behind one charity that's focused on something super narrow. What's wrong with broad mandates in terms of, let's say, alternative energy, for example? The reason why I split it up into 10 different groups is because when you get through the first one, which is alternative energy, you have a lot of naysayers. You have a lot of people who say, alternative energy, don't you know that solar panels are polluting too? Don't you know that electric cars use, whatever kind of metal, and therefore that's not part of the solution? So then that that is why you have to break these issues up into multiple issues. Oh, look, I'm still on. Sorry, my computer went to sleep. So you cleave off support as soon as you bundle these issues together. So that's the mistake that Suzuki's making, is he bundles these issues together, right? Like, you know, he might be bundling saving the bees with, rejecting cars or promoting bikes. And so once you go to Suzuki, you're like, oh, but he's in favor of this thing that I don't agree with, therefore I'm not supporting him. It's also why pro-lifers are so successful. It's because they are focused on one narrow issue. And when your mandate is narrow, you can draw on a wider base of support, people who are very committed rather than kind of committed. Once you dilute your message with additional causes, people are less committed to the cause or the causes. So what I noticed happened to Amnesty International, they used to be the anti-death penalty, anti-torture charity, and they were narrowly focused on those two issues. And they were able, when those were their only two issues, they were able to get support from all kinds of people. Christians were very much, turn the other cheek. Christians were in favor of Amnesty International. They were started by Christians. Who else was interested in Amnesty? Well, basically all kinds of people. Anyone who said, oh yeah, torture, obviously that's bad. And I guess the ultimate expression of torture is death. So it just was doing a great job at being able to attract a broad base of support. And what I think they did, after they had that broad base of support, they expanded their mandate, and it did dwindle the support for the cause, because now it was the causes. And I know I personally, during my religious phase, I was kind of a Muslim, more practicing Muslim at the time, and I went to an Amnesty event, and they were in talks about expanding their mandate, and they posted at an event something that was calling Saudi Arabia out for human rights abuses, and their imagery showed women in niqab. And I said, well, I'm in favor of your anti-torture, anti-death penalty message, but women in niqab, I don't see that as the human rights issue that I want to devote my life to right now. And I dropped out of Amnesty as a somewhat more religious Muslim. So this is what happens when I continue to support them, but not to the level that I was ready to commit before, which was lead a interfaith group, actually, which is what they were working on. So I dropped out, and it was literally, it was really this broadening of mandate issue. So I really think that charities that have a narrow mandate are effective. We only have social and consumer power now. We don't really have political power at the national stage. Maybe we do at the municipal level. So I just think we need to identify the 10 charities or 5 charities or 20 charities, I don't know what the number is, that are well poised to change human activity. And it could be an anti-bottled water campaign that launches, and these, I'm not saying that we do the work. These charities are already out there. They're already in existence. I think I Am a Girl Canada might be the one for, or I'm a Girl, which is international now, might be the one for population growth. That might be what we will funnel disaffected voters to. And that's what I'm suggesting, is we need to create a funnel. We need to popularize a sorting system to get these people to these causes so that we can make a change. And I want to create, I guess, a meme. Maybe there's a different way. This idea needs work and it needs input. And I want people who believe in the idea. If you don't believe in it, then you're not going to help me with it, and that's fine. People who believe in the idea to contribute and make it work. And I hope you will join me. And that is my pitch, which maybe I'll have the courage to post this on YouTube and circulate it to you all, so that we can bypass some of the individual phone calls. Okay, bye-bye.